Coach Prime Deion Sanders calls out 10 NFL teams that didn't show up to the Jackson State Combined Pro Day that showcased a lot of talent from the SWAC and a lot of talent throughout Mississippi. Was that a good move? Was that smart to call out these NFL teams? Well, we'll talk about it right after the bumper. What's good, good people? What is good, good people? My name is JeffLightsyJr with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, Coach Prime Deion Sanders set the internet on fire, quite literally on fire, when he called out 10 NFL teams that decided not to send representation to the Jackson State Combined Pro Day. Jackson State held a Combined Pro Day that featured multiple SWAC schools, Mississippi Valley, Alcorn, including Jackson State, and other schools throughout the state of Mississippi to show off their talents for the NFL. Now, Coach Prime said before the Combined Pro Day, he said, if you don't, I expect all 32 teams from the NFL to be represented at our Pro Day. If they are not, I will go on wax and go on record and call them out and let the world know which teams didn't show up to the Pro Day. Well, Coach Prime is a man of his word. Coach Prime stayed on brand, and he did exactly that. I'm going to go to my Twitter account, which I posted the response video from Coach Prime, the 2-minute response. It's gotten over 1.7 million views, been seen nationwide, hell, maybe even worldwide, all across everywhere, all platforms, but on Twitter, 1.7 million views. And this is what Coach Prime had to say. Let's take a listen.
Yesterday was phenomenal. I mean, flat out phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
All the kids that participated on
Yes.
Pro Day, hats off to you. God bless you. The people that came in support, the coaches from the SWAC schools and various schools that came there to stand for your kid. Hey, I love you. 24 teams. 24 teams came
24
to
teams.
witness our kids yesterday in its entirety. And I appreciate you.
No, let me take that back. He says 24, but it was reports that 22 teams came there. And when he gets to naming the teams, he names 10 teams. Well, we know there's 32 teams in the NFL. If 10 teams didn't show up, that means 22 teams were there. So he says 24, but it's actually 22. Let's continue on.
But there's 32 teams in this Crayola box. Therefore, the Dolphins, the Broncos, the Texans, the Bills, the Buccaneers, the Ravens, the Panthers, the Browns, the Vikings, and the Eagles. Where art thou?
Where art thou?
You could have sent somebody, man. You could have shown up just a little bit. But I guarantee you,
Let's see,
that you're gonna go to Mississippi State and Ole Miss. I guarantee you.
So, and then he goes on to say, like, yeah, he thinks that they'll be at those SEC schools, pro days, and so on and so forth. So this was a crazy, like this, just like I said, it went viral. There were several people that commented, several people that just really went in, and it was a polarizing post. Why? Because obviously, a lot of folks feel like 22 teams is a lot of teams to show up to a Jackson State Pro Day. 22 teams is a lot more than Jackson State Pro Days, if they even had Pro Days in the years previous, whether it's last year, the year before, 22 teams is a good start for a team that just won the SWAC East for the first time in a long time, since 2013, that just won a SWAC championship for the first time since 2007, and just punched the ticket to the Celebration Bowl. A lot of folks feel like that was a ton of, like, it's a lot of eyeballs to come to your Pro Day. And then there were the folks that were the HBCU supporters, the Jackson State supporters, the Alcorn supporters, the SWAC supporters, saying, yo, all 32 teams should have been there. Now, here's how I feel about it. I feel that was a smart move by Coach Prime to call out those teams. Why? Because Coach Prime is doing something that he said he was going to do when he arrived at Jackson State. He said he always wanted to level the playing field. Now, Coach Prime knows the NFL business. Coach Prime was a Hall of Fame player in the NFL. And then Coach Prime, after his Hall of Fame playing career, where he played almost 20 years in the league, he did another 15, 16 years at the NFL Network. So what does that mean? That means he knows how the NFL works. He knows the business of the NFL, even in the scouting department. He understands that all 32 teams from the NFL do not go to every single pro day. He is not naive. He is not an idiot. He is a very, very smart man. All of his moves are what? Calculated. So that means doing this was very, very calculated from the beginning when he announced that they were doing a combined pro day with Alcorn, with Mississippi Valley, and with other schools in the state of Mississippi. That was calculated. In that same video, when he said he expects all 32 NFL teams to be at his pro day, that was calculated, and was also calculated in that same video. He says that if you aren't at our pro day, I am going to call you out. All of that was calculated. Now, this was very on brand for Deion Sanders. Why? Because he is a polarizing figure. He is a polarizing person. He is someone that a lot of people love and praise and admire and worship and bow down to his feet, sometimes to a degree, to a bad extent. And then there are people that absolutely hate his guts, think he is cocky, arrogant, and does too much. So he is a polarizing figure. He's not someone that most people just land in the middle on. They're extreme one way or extreme another. And so with that, he knows when he says things like, I'm going to call you out if you don't show up to our pro day, that people expect him to be a man of his word. He also is someone that stands on morals, stands on values. He is faith-based. And so all of that goes into him calling out those teams. He knows that calling out those teams does a number of things. One of those is that it falls right into his brand. His brand is honesty. His brand is integrity. His brand is faith-based. His brand is a man of his word. And so therefore he has to, if he says he's going to call you out, he has to call you out. Second, he knows that brings attention, that shines a light, that puts a spotlight, not just on Jackson State, not just on him as a person, Deion Sanders, but also on the SWAC, also on Black college football, also on HBCUs across the country. This video on my Twitter got 1.7 million views and counting. 1.7 million views on my Twitter alone. It's been reshared. It's been picked up by Bleacher Report, by SportsCenter, by Fox Sports, by Front Office Sports, by anybody with a publication. They picked up this 2-minute soundbite, this 2-minute clip. And that is exactly what Coach Prime did. He understands. And also what this does, what this soundbite did, it plays right into his base. Politicians do it all the time. CNN does it. Fox News does it. All of these political figures, political networks, they do it. They play to their base. Coach Prime's base is who? Jackson State alum, Jackson State football fans, Black college football fans, SWAC fans, HBCU fans. And when they see this 2-minute video, that's why it was so they gravitate towards it and they uplift it and they share it and they go, hell yeah, Coach Prime, call out those teams. Why aren't those teams at our pro days? Because all of them don't understand all 32 teams don't go to every single pro day. I seen in my comments and the quote tweets talking about how only 18 showed up at Baylor and 21 showed up at Texas Tech. And, Iowa State only got so many and Iowa only got so many. These Big Ten schools, these schools in Power 5 conferences didn't get all 32 teams. And all of that is correct. And Coach Prime knows that. But his base might not know that. And even if they did understand that, Coach Prime is like, yo, we didn't just have Jackson State. It wasn't just a showcase of Jackson State. It was a showcase of multiple SWAC schools. And it was a showcase of at least 4 or 5 schools from the state of Mississippi. And he feels like you should have had a representative. And even if he doesn't feel like you should have, he feels like he knows his base will back him on this. And just how politicians play into their base, they do things to rile their base up. They do things to get the support of their base. This is exactly what Coach Prime did, both in the original video that I posted back in February when he announced this conjoined combined pro day, and the video he put after the pro day when he called out 10 teams from the NFL. He's not a dumb man. He is not a dumb man at all. And another thing this does is I'm going down these points, is that this keeps HBCU sports, Black college football, etc., the SWAC, etc., in the news cycle. This video got 1.7 million views on mine alone. Imagine what it got on ESPN. Imagine what it got on SportsCenter. Imagine what it did X, Y, and Z. It continues to put the name Jackson State, Deion Sanders, SWAC, HBCU football, all in the news cycle. It keeps their name relevant. It keeps them going. It does in publicity and media is one thing to do what? Level the playing field. Whether Deion Sanders, whether you think he's right or not, you're talking about him. He came across your screen. You saw this video. You heard a snippet of this clip. I mean, look at this. Look at 12.2 thousand retweets, another 2,700 quote tweets, and 52,000 likes. This is not just me. This is a bunch of people across the country, around the world saw this video. 6-7 million impressions. And this is just from mine alone. Imagine what it did on SportsCenter Twitter account, or SportsCenter Instagram account, or the Bleacher Report Instagram account, when they have millions of followers and millions of people. I have 2,400 followers on my Twitter. This got picked up. I got messages from people. This is part of the change. This is a part of what Coach Prime brings when he comes to your school, what he brings when he comes to your conference, what he brings when he is a conduit of change in HBCU football, in HBCU culture, in Black college football, and Black college sports. This was a good thing. Whether you like him or not, whether you thought it was a good thing or not, it was a good thing in the end of the day, because it keeps these people, now they want to tune in. Because guess what? Next year, they probably still won't have all 32 teams, but they'll have more. There'll be 26. There'll be fans. There'll be fans of the Eagles or the Bills or the Ravens, because they were in the mentions. They were in the comments like, yo, y'all better send somebody down there to Jackson, because damn, I'm mad, my team. That's what most of these were. Like, damn, Eagles atting their team. Why didn't y'all send a scout to Jackson State or a representative to Jackson State? Damn, Ravens. Oh, I can't believe. Oh, thank God the Raiders weren't on there. This is how you continue to move the needle, to push the game forward, to make things better for HBCUs, for Black college football, for Black college sports. I love it, Coach Prime. And I think the people do too. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave your thoughts in the comments and hit that thumbs up button. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYJr. with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, JeffLightsYJr. Thank you guys for tuning in, and let me know what you think. This is how I feel. This is what I think came from it. Let me know what you think. I'd love to see what you have to say. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace.